No, there is only one Quran. Unlike the Catholic Bible that has different number of chapters, Mormons have their own book. The Quran, as you know, 114 chapters from Al-Fatiha to Nas, that's it. Arabic, there's only one Quran, right? Is there more than one Quran?
Are you saying that if you don't speak Arabic, you can't?
No, you can. But the point is,
because Arabic is such a
beautiful language.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a beautiful language.
Yes.
بس يعني غير عن إنجليزي يعني.
تتكلم عربي.
أكيد.
خلاص أنت تتكلم عربي كيف ما عندنا مشكلة.
يعني
خلاص لا يعني في مثلك. طيب تعلمه. He learned Aramaic and Greek or whatever he did, or if he didn't, other guy did. Sorry. Okay, but if you,
not consistent. There's
of course, no. The Quranic Arabic.
Each word.
Sure. The Quranic Arabic, as you know, is only one. Fusha, Lugha al-Arabiya al-Fusha al-Quraniyya. Ammiya is different. We don't study Ammiya for the Quran. Like when you say Agullak or Shlolak, that's not Arabic, that's Ammiya. But the Quranic Arabic is only one Arabic. It's taught across the world, standardized. When you talk about Nahu and Sarf and Marfu'at and Majurrat, everybody studies it the exact same way. So the Quran is one Quran. Now, you can take a different idea from your head and implement it into the Quran, like ISIS or whatever, for their own political cause. That's their problem. We condemn that.
Okay.
But the Quran's message is one message from the time of the Prophet, because as you know, since you know Arabic, Huffaz memorized the Quran word by word letter, unlike the Bible, which we don't find Huffaz of the Bible walking around, right?
There are some.
I haven't seen any, but
that's Protestant.
Sure.
Them,
really?
First, they got it.
They have a lot of people memorize the whole Bible word by word?
Okay, but here's the thing.
Okay, but did you understand what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
But if in Islam you believe that
at least she can have a conversation.
See, you don't need to take those personal attacks.
Those weren't personal attacks. That was an advice on how to have a conversation.
Okay, so Muhammad lived and then he died.
Yes.
He didn't resurrect.
Nope.
He didn't really do any miracles that I would believe in this day and age.
Splitting the moon. The Quran itself is a miracle.
In this day and age.
Sure, the Quran.
The Quran to me, like I read it.
Sure. So,
like,
so,
okay,
so when the Quran talks about the different orbits and everything being, or water having, how would the Prophet? But wait. So let me go into that, right? When you talk about linguistic miracles, when you look at the Nahu of it, if you study the Arabic of it, right? Why was it that none of the shu'ara could write anything like it? None of the poets, none of the authors, right? Why? The Arabs were excellent in language, right? But those shu'ara like Hassan ibn Thabit, if you know who he is, they said a man like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who couldn't read or write, a man, you said I could write it, can you read and write? I'm sure you can. Did you go to school? Yes you did. Did you study science? Yes you did. But a man in the desert who never studied science, couldn't read or write, never wrote poetry, brings a book that talks about what will happen in the future, like the battle between Romans and Persians, and you'll prophesize that which happened. That prophet telling about stories about why Musa alayhi salam was in Misr when the Arab had no idea, right? Bringing that knowledge which he didn't have because he wasn't a Christian, he wasn't a Jew, he wasn't a scholar, he couldn't read or write. Talking about waves underneath the ocean, scientific fact that he had never been to an ocean, talking about sweet water and salt water touching but not mixing. I mean, take a book and read up on it. Tell me, how could that have been?
But in this day and age, okay,
no,
21st century.
So I asked you a question, right? I answered it.
Because they're spirits, right? That are not, like, who says that, a demon didn't appear to Muhammad, right?
Okay.
And
he wrote about that.
He wrote about what? A demon?
That he felt like he was possessed that day.
No. The Jibreel, Gabriel, coming to him is not the same as a jinn. A jinn is a demon. So don't confuse the two. Go ahead.
But I'm just saying, like,
sure. So
it could have been someone that wasn't God, right?
Sure.
Who inspired him, another spirit.
Sure.
You believe that there are jinns and Satan and stuff like that.
Yes.
So who's to say
Excellent.
that it
Good
wasn't?
Question. Sure.
Because the demons, right? They have a lot of knowledge. They know, like, knowledge. To have knowledge is almost to be like godlike, right? That's why the tree was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, right? In Genesis, right? And then, so that's one thing I have to say. And then going back to like what you were saying about the inconsistencies in the Bible. So if a good Muslim was a Catholic before the Quran was written, before the Bible was written, why would a good Muslim believe in the Bible?
Excellent.
And why do you use the Bible as evidence? And then...
So there's three questions now? I just want to make sure I answer these.
Well, okay. Well, why do you use the
listening.
Bible as evidence and then say, I can't believe anything that's written in here because of these inconsistencies.
Excellent. So let me take all three of your questions. See how I listened? That was called listening. The first, you said it could have been a devil, right? That inspired him. That is true. I mean, as a point, you could make that argument. But as we know, jinn inspire you to evil. They inspire you to kill. They inspire you to do magic or fortune tell. None of what we find in the Quran is that what a jinn would call towards. Rather, what we find in the Quran to believe in one God and not to worship idols and things are in line with what the earlier prophets brought. Okay. And that's why we don't believe that there was a jinn or an evil spirit that inspired him. Which brings me again to say that a man in the desert could not have possibly known those things. I mean, it's impossible. Even the Arabs were not a scientific people. They were not like the Greeks and Romans. They didn't have a book. Yeah, look it up. Go ahead. I mean.